Hi, my name is Jacqueline Roberts, and this is my data protocol. So a lot of what I was compelled to dig deeper into throughout this course was how our student learning data related to our demographics data. And so that's really what I focused my data protocol on. So as I was creating this, I teach fifth grade, and so I kind of imagined completing this for the MAP assessments, which are for reading and math. However, I think it could apply to a lot of different assessments. In fact, I was thinking that we could kind of start with CMAS assessment, which is our state standardized assessment, and really show staff why we're doing this particular data protocol. Because in some of our demographic data, I've noticed that our minority students are performing not as well as our non-minority students. And so kind of looking at the CMAS trends as far as minority versus non-minority students would give teachers a little more buy-in and a little more understanding as to why I built this data protocol. So to complete this, first we're kind of looking at what did students do really well and what did students not do really well, and so what were they most successful with. And so on the left hand side is kind of these extension activities, and then on the right side will be focused on interventions. So we first want to look at the data and identify what were they least successful at, what were they most successful at. And then we really want to dig into the numbers and write down, quantify, how did minority students compare to non-minority students on these particular skills. So we'd fill that out on both sides. From there, we just ask, what conclusions can we draw? Was there a gap between these students? Was there not a gap? How big was the gap? What does the data tell us? So then on each side, based on the standards we have prioritized and student need, so the data, what skill or skills should we focus on? Is there one skill out of all this data that we really want to drill in and dive into, or is there two or three? Then we want to identify specifically who needs the enrichment activities and who needs the interventions. And then here's really where the demographic data should help us, is what culturally responsive enrichment activities will we implement for these skills, and then what culturally responsive interventions will we implement for these skills. So we really want to try to come up with perhaps new ideas or something that we think will really reach our minority students if the data shows that they weren't doing quite as well. So we'll plan for the activities there. And then finally, we'll make a plan for reassessing these skills. When are we going to reassess it, and what are we going to use? So it should be a cyclical cycle. Once we've reassessed, hopefully they've made enough growth, but perhaps we need to go back through this process with the same skills, or we can utilize it for a different assessment. Thanks a lot.